Hey everyone, finish watching the next Power Rangers SPD episode, History. Broodwing and a scientist are working with 3 glowing gems. They look kind of familiar. We then go to the past, where we see Connor, Ethan, and Kira attending a class reunion. Suddenly, they're teleported away, right to Broodwing. They kick him away, turn and grab the dino gems that they just seem to know are there. At SPD, Cat detects a Ranger energy signal. B Squad is still in the building, so it must be A Squad, they conclude. They rush to check things out. Connor, Ethan, and Kira are being chased by Crybots, but they manage to defeat all the Crybots with some help from their civilian powers. They're cornered by Broodwing, but luckily the SPD Rangers arrive to the scene. We then watch as the SPD Rangers fight Crybots for a really long time. The SPD Rangers ask the Dino Thunder Rangers if they're okay and introduce themselves. The Dino Thunder Rangers reveal their morphin braces. The SPD Rangers are shocked. They thought they were the only Rangers. I guess they weren't paying attention in Ranger history class. At SPD headquarters, Connor, Ethan, and Kira are informed what's going on. However, they're held back from joining the fight against Broodwing. The SPD Rangers take on some monster alone, and it feels like just another episode. Almost like it's not a team-up at all. Grum sends out an army of henchmen. The Dino Thunder Rangers watch over the monitors, and they want to help, but Kruger orders them to stay. Sam battles that monster from earlier, now grown giant. Doggy joins the others against Grum's forces. Grum and Morgana join the battle too, for some reason. It's weird. I don't know why they're joining. Like, they don't know that this is a team-up episode. As far as they know, this is just another episode. Connor convinces the other Dino Thunder Rangers to join the fight, and Cat recharges their Dino Gems. The Dino Rangers join the SPD Rangers against the bad guys. There's a bunch of cool, flashy explosions and slow-mo shots. And because they're fighting a main villain, though, they can't actually defeat him. The SPD Rangers go to help Sam deal with the monster from the filler part of the episode. Eventually, Grum retreats, and Kruger congratulates the 2 teams of Rangers. At SPD headquarters, the Dino Thunder Rangers offer to stay and help. They have to go back to the past, though. They have their own lives to live and contributions to make. Cat tells them that their memories will be erased once they return to the past. Broodwing, off in the shadows, plans another scheme. I'm conflicted on this episode. There's some really good stuff in there that I really appreciate, stuff I wish team-ups would do more often. But at the same time, there's also major problems I have with this one. First up, good stuff. Broodwing tells his scientist buddy that he got the Dino Gems on Onyx. After 20 years, it is believable that the powerless Dino Gems ended up there. Maybe the Rangers gave them to a museum at some point and the museum was robbed. Connor, Ethan, and Kira are 1 year older than they were back in Dino Thunder, and it's nice to see some progression when old characters return. The A Squad is remembered, which is really nice. They've been overlooked most of the season. The fight scenes are really cool. I like that the Dino Thunder theme is incorporated in, and not the Disney stock music. That's nice. The couple of character moments we get are mostly pretty good. Everyone feels in character. Now the bad stuff. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, Trent and Dr. O are just absent. The story reason is that they weren't right there, I guess. But I want to know the behind-the-scenes reason. Jason Frank wasn't present for either team-up SPD did with Dino Thunder, as Disney didn't consider it necessary to fly him over for a guest appearance, or even bother contacting him for a voiceover. Jeffrey Perazzo, though, I have absolutely no idea. He's there in the second team-up. This isn't that bad, but it's just weird, since the next team-up features every Dino Thunder Ranger together. I wish I knew what the reasoning was. The next thing is a pretty big irritant for me. Too much time is spent ignoring the team-up aspect. The SPD Rangers battle Crybots, one at a time. It goes on for a while. And the Dino Thunder Rangers are just standing off to the side, not doing anything. A bland monster of the day, completely separate from everything, eats up time and keeps Sam out of the action. This doesn't seem to bother anyone else, but I also never see anyone talk about these parts that are separate from the team-up parts of this episode. I think more of an effort should have been made to connect these 2 teams' stories. It's kind of like in Fighting Spirit, where everybody talks about the scenes where Tommy's fighting his past Ranger forms, but nobody talks about Cassidy and Devon's plot, or the Rangers fighting white Dinozord monster thing, whatever its name was, that was just like a reused monster from another episode, repainted or some dumb thing. No one ever talks about that stuff, they only talk about the good part. Is everyone's mind just adjusted so that they only remember the good parts? I don't like how long the Dino Thunder Rangers are held back from fighting. I also think the Dino Gems should have just been powered up by Broodwing scientists. It would also serve as a convenient excuse for why the powers won't work for long. I'm not sure why either team is shocked to see the other. They both know there's other Ranger teams. SPD seems to know the Dino Thunder Rangers pretty well at the end of the episode, and the Dino Rangers saw Tommy's video history of all the previous Rangers, although they do tend to forget that thing a lot. The cutting back and forth between Sam fighting the random no-one monster and the Rangers doing the important thing gets annoying. I really don't know why we needed Sam to be separate from everything. This episode settles on one of the worst ways you can end a story: arbitrary memory erasure. I have no idea why this became a recurring thing. Was it to try and uphold continuity? Why bother? This is Power Rangers. It's Disney Power Rangers. Disney chucked continuity out the window and spit on it. It's not like they planned on bringing the Dino Thunder Rangers back often. If Disney had their way, they wouldn't bring back veteran characters ever. The next thing isn't good or bad, just something I thought would be interesting. Aren't the Dino Thunder Rangers still alive in SPD's future? It's only 20 years later. Then again, Dr. O was barely 30, possibly younger, and treated like an old man, according to the timeline by the end of Dino Thunder. I think a fun idea would have been for the Dino Thunder Rangers to show up in the present with beards, gray hair, and wrinkles hunched over with canes, and then morph and become young again. Nearly the same plot could be used. Broodwing has the Dino Gems. He tries to use them to power something, only for them to teleport the Dino Thunder Rangers to him. They take back their gems, and the rest goes about the same. Another thing, neither good nor bad, is the villains of the episode. I think a villain with some connection to Dino Thunder would have had more impact than Grum, and a bunch of minions, and especially the other monster that Sam deals with. Maybe this could have been a place to use Lothor trapped in that jar, or one of the other DNA jars. One more thing I just found weird: why did Broodwing think former Power Rangers would willingly work for him? Maybe he read that their mentor made a mind control monster once, and no one cared. Unfortunately, one of the things this team-up episode doesn't include is any reference to Before It Began, the little preview of SPD that Ethan and Kira see in that weird little DVD extra from Dino Thunder. Don't really know how to feel about that. It would be nice if Ethan and Kira had some little line somewhere in this episode where they're like, hey, these guys look familiar, and Connor's like, I'm not sure. Or maybe Ethan and Kira could say, hey, were these guys part of Dr. O's video diary thing? And Connor's like, I don't know. Because he wasn't there in that Before It Began special. I think that would be a cute little reference, but unfortunately, nah, we don't get nothing like that. So it's just, as a big Power Ranger nerd, I would have appreciated something like that a lot. I'm split on this one. It's got some good stuff and some bad stuff, but neither really outweighs the other, so I don't really know what to think about it. The next team-up episode, Wormhole, actually takes place an episode or two later, but it's placed right after this episode history on the DVD. I'm going to skip Wormhole for now and watch the following episode, and then watch Wormhole next. I think that's how it's supposed to go, so yeah, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.
Your memory of us will be erased.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.